Across the Indian subcontinent, believers have practiced an ancient final pilgrimage known as Ganga Labh. The stakes are absolute. Breathing your last breath on the banks of the Ganges is believed to grant instant moksha, a total liberation from the cycle of rebirth. Earning this release requires a difficult physical journey. Pilgrims abandon worldly comforts, pushing failing bodies across miles of terrain to reach the water's edge. The rule of this tradition is clear. The seeker must go to the river. The river does not move for the seeker. But medieval historical texts record a single instance where these physical laws were entirely inverted. The protagonist of this account is Bodhi Kayastha, a man who worked within the power and politics of the king of Maithila's court. He lived his life in an environment of immense wealth and constant temptation, the opposite of the isolated, detached life usually expected of those seeking spiritual liberation. This creates a central mystery. How did a man surrounded by the machinery of royal corruption achieve a miracle usually reserved for the most disciplined saints? Bodhi survived the royal court by maintaining an unblemished character. In a world of maneuvering, he lived without violence and remained untouched by greed. He lived simply, using his salary for basic needs and donating the rest to the poor. Underlying this behavior was a quiet daily devotion to Lord Shiva, a consistent internal focus that anchored his life. This decades-long consistency was not a public performance, but it was quietly building a spiritual weight that would eventually challenge the physical world. When old age finally arrived, Bodhi left his home and his family. He began the walk to the Ganges, seeking the traditional liberation of the riverbank. For an elderly man, the physical journey was a grueling test of endurance. Just 3 miles from the river, his strength gave out. He collapsed onto the dry land. His goal was in sight, but his elderly body was completely unable to move another inch. He didn't despair. Instead, he invoked the goddess Ganga directly, calling upon the river to recognize the integrity of his life. In that moment, the Ganges broke its historical banks. The water swept across the land, altering its physical course to reach Bodhi where he lay. Geography itself moved to accommodate his arrival. For this one man, the river didn't wait for a pilgrimage, it came to him. The account suggests that while physical rituals have their place, the internal state of a person carries its own power. Bodhi achieved his goal not through the miles he walked, but through the character he built. This was not merely a local legend. The event was documented by scholars like Jyotirishwar in the historical text Purushpariksha. This miracle directly inspired Videha, the region's most famous poet, to write the immortal Maithili song Bod Sukh Sar Paul Tua Tire. Bodhi Kayastha's life became a permanent part of the cultural memory, reminding us the path to liberation is sometimes paved by integrity rather than travel. We often spend our lives searching for peace or success at the end of a long, arduous journey, believing we have to force our way to the destination. But Bodhi's story offers a different perspective. It suggests if you focus entirely on maintaining an unblemished character, the things you are searching for may eventually find their own way to you.